I'm Kate, and I have no idea what I'm doing. Most of the time, it seems these days, but that's okay. What I figured out in my 30s was that I'm not actually sure anyone knows what they're doing. They just kind of go with it until whatever they think they're looking for works out. I'm for that. It's what I got to, so let's just go with it. So, if you're in the US, the holidays are fast approaching. I mean, specifically Thanksgiving. I don't know how you feel about Thanksgiving. For me, it is my most stressful of all holidays. There's a few reasons for this. Number one, socializing. I am very gregarious, but I have a very limited social battery, even for those that I love. It is... I will be hung over just from social interaction. I don't get hangovers from alcohol. I don't really drink anymore either, though. That just kind of stopped being one of the things that I did. I didn't like the way it made me feel anymore, but I think that's mostly because ulcer and stress and stuff. But here's the thing. Thanksgiving is stressful for me, not just because of the socializing. That's number one. Number two is food. Food is a huge trigger for me. And it's not for maybe the standard reasons. I have food allergies. I also have a lot of texture issues. And and I was looking in to see, because I have a system, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But I did some research, obviously, to see tips and tricks. How do people go? Because it's well known autistic people frequently struggle with eating and drinking. And I got on the UK's NHS website and found a great list, points out food-related sensory processing. My sister, who's not on the spectrum, or she's never been diagnosed, she doesn't eat mushy food. And I get that. I won't eat food that has been blackened. I don't like the taste of char. It's all I can taste. The environment related to sensory processing. Yeah, huge there. If it's noisy or loud, or there's strangers, or there's just people reaching and in your business and asking you questions, and I don't know about you, but I heat up, and it's so much. It's so much. And then there's, internal regulation. Do you know when you're hungry? Do you know when you're thirsty? Do you know when you've had too much? Is it something you struggle with on a daily basis? I forget to eat. I forget to eat all the time. I had a protein shake today. I'm very proud of myself for remembering to do that and being healthy about it. But I will forget, or I just won't, or, the hanger's real if you don't eat and you let your blood sugar drop. Then, of course, there's digestive issues and the lack of routine. There's so many different factors in. I also have the fortune of having food allergies, and many of the foods I'm allergic to are... I'm allergic to cinnamon. Fa la la to you too. Pumpkin spice, oh my goodness, my eyes will swell. I'm allergic to cinnamon and nutmeg, and I can't have ginger, or I can have very, very little amounts of ginger. I also, for the record, can't have paprika, and I need people to stop not including that in their recipes, because just because it's a garnish does not mean it is not an ingredient. Okay, people? all of the ingredients could be an allergen. Mine are weird. I know one other person who's allergic to cinnamon, and he is not as allergic as I am. I'm also allergic to cumin. That probably shouldn't come up for Thanksgiving, but it certainly comes up whenever I eat in public. You know? I love spending time with my family, and I'm willing to do a lot to make it so I can spend time with my family for a holiday, especially one that stresses me out this much. But wow, is it a lift? So, family is important, or at least it's important to me. And I get that family looks different to everyone. And that's great, honestly. I love that family can be such a diverse word. And I hope everyone can spend the holidays, whichever ones you celebrate, with the people that matter most to them. But it's hard. We get it. It's overstimulating. It's overwhelming. It's you don't get your routine, and you don't get to do the things you do. And if you have people over, there's people touching your stuff. I don't have guests very often because I find that very stressful. And I mean, I love Halloween. I don't even let trick-or-treaters come, because the idea of the impending knock just freaks me out. And that's a whole other thing that I'm still working on unpacking, because again, none of that is not. We've talked about how I have ADHD too, right? Because that's where we're at. Anyway, so I decided that we should examine some tips and tricks on how to do this. So on best practices, because we want to have fun on the holidays, right? That's the whole point. Togetherness, love, happiness. So, and what's the point if I don't know about you, I spend a lot of energy trying to not ruin other people's time, good times, and that sometimes makes it all worse. But so I did a lot of poking around, Googling, looking to see what some best tips and practices are. And I landed on an article on Psychology Today entitled 7 Tips to Cope with the Holidays When You're Autistic. And it is written by a woman with autism. So I can relate a little bit more, just because it's coming at it from a background that I'm familiar with. So the first recommendation is to find the social balance. So it's all about finding the balance that allows you to stay mentally and physically well while still playing the game as much as you can. I know that if it's at my parents' house, I will spend time with the family, and then I will go remove myself and sit in a dark room for a while and just come back down, because so much. So much. So figure out the little things. If you're going somewhere, figure out what you can take with you, bring with you, that you can recenter yourself. I know I'm always trying to find my center to make the world stop spinning in every possible direction. It's like being a gyroscope. It can be a lot. And I had mentioned you get hot. I sweat so much in social settings. They're not a sponsor. I have none of those. But Lumi, oh my goodness, their sweat control, scent-free, changed my life. I look forward to testing it out at Thanksgiving this year, because boy. All right, the second recommendation, plan for sensory disruptions. So, they'll talk about the sensory impact of decorations and music and food, and people and everything. So figure out, what do you need to be comfortable? And I don't know if you need to know this, but it's okay to take up space in the world. I don't know about you, I try to minimize my impact frequently. I leave no trace in all things. It's not just a good hiking motto, it's a good life policy. But I also need to make sure that my personal needs are being treated too. So this year, I believe I'll be at my sister's house. We've never done a holiday there before, so all new things, all new adventures. But I think it'll be okay. And she will understand if I need to take a minute, and we'll go for a walk if possible, or I can wander and sit alone in her house, in her room if I need to. See if you can find a safe haven. See if, maybe that's bringing noise canceling headphones. And if you can use noise canceling headphones, more power to you. They make me have vertigo, and I'm still working to see if there's any model that will work for me. Next up, important, maintain your routine as much as you can. Because you will be going places you don't usually go, seeing people you don't usually see, eating things you don't usually eat, and never when you usually eat them. I bring snacks. I will slip in like an applesauce pouch or like a Cliff Bar and just like have emergency comfort safe foods stowed away so that I can, if I get like munchy or crazy or just start to just shut down in a way. But so if you usually go for a walk. Take some time to yourself in the midst of the chaos. I have a very boisterous family, always have. So it's, just jumping from event to event was always like so much. And I didn't even understand that I was overstimulated for so long. And as I've gotten older, obviously, some of my coping mechanisms haven't always carried forward as well. Adults have different needs than children. Who knew? Autistic research doesn't seem to know that, but it is getting better. That's why I know that I'm autistic, because we've done more research. We have more markers. So the next thing on this list is ditch the guilt. Boy, I've needed this list my whole life. I feel guilty about things that I have no business feeling guilty about. And I'm working on it. Work in progress. Human. All humans are works in progress. Let's be honest here. But anyway, ditch the guilt. So I'm going to read this specifically here so that there's no misunderstanding what's meant by this, because I don't know that I can explain it in my own words as well as it's put here. It's actually the shortest little part of this. People can be very ready to shame others for not getting in the spirit. When you're autistic, enjoying certain aspects of the festive period may be beyond you. This isn't something you've chosen, and you're not deliberately being awkward, demanding, or dramatic when you try to meet your needs. Again, you are not deliberately being awkward, demanding, or dramatic when you are trying to meet your needs. It is totally okay to do the things that you need to do, the little things, the self-care. Don't forget yourself, and don't feel bad if you're not feeling it. It's okay. There's plenty of people who are neurotypical that are not feeling the holiday season. I mean, Thanksgiving's so late this year, and people started trying to celebrate Christmas before Halloween. And what the heck is up with that? They go in order. We all need to learn to forgive ourselves for being who we are. That, I think, is one of humanity's biggest things. We all want to fit ourselves into these specific boxes. This isn't Christmas. We're not going to unwrap everything. No, we're humans. We don't fit in boxes. Though, I mean, I love sitting in boxes, and if I fit, I sit. So I'm basically a cat. And you may know me as Cat, and hi, miss you guys. I actually answer to Katie, Caitlin, because that is my full name, but I tell people to call me Kate. It doesn't always work. Though, again, Katie, I get called that by my family, so I'm... Someday we're going to talk about setting boundaries and asserting yourself, and we'll laugh at how bad I am at it. And that's okay. Everyone needs, work in progress. Remember? That's what we are. Works in progress. Not a blank slate, more like an impedimento, just when you paint over a painting and make something new. Continuing on this list. The fifth thing, ask for support. Not everyone is going to understand just how difficult and hard this is for you. A lot of people won't even understand if you try to explain it, and that's unfortunate. And if someone is telling you that they're having a hard time, listen to their words, and don't just assume that you understand what they're trying to say. Listen to their words, and if you don't understand, ask more questions and listen to their answers. I know I can be bad at helping by just assuming I know, because I can only relate to things sometimes if I explain an experience that I've been through that is in the ballpark. And I'm working on that because it doesn't help everyone, but that is literally how I process. Again, working on it. So, like I've mentioned, I will probably be asking my sister if I can go hide in her attic or in her bedroom and just like take a minute, because I love my family. I have 5 nieces. They are between the ages of 8 and 5. Yeah, no, and I had to think about it. I know their birthdays. I promise you that we're good. And they're loud. They're gregarious. There's so much. They're fun. I love their princess parades, but sometimes my head wants to explode. And my sister has migraines and also can get overstimulated easily. So we may go for walks. She lives in the woods, and it's very nice. So next up, number 6, focus on what you like. So it's so easy to get overwhelmed and forget all of the different things that you like and make you happy. So watch your favorite movies, read your favorite books, play cards, make snacks you like. Do what makes you happy. I know that when you're stressed, it's so hard to remember that you like anything. So just grasp onto little things. Lately, my partner and I have been super, super stressed out just about like life, the universe, and everything. Haha, because it's what happens when you're in your late 30s and you have no idea what you're doing. We've been watching movies together that mean something to us, or the message matches the moment and the mood. We watched the Barbie movie after the election to make ourselves feel better. This is not political. That's just a statement of fact. We watched the Barbie movie, and I had seen it before. He had it, and it was everything we needed for the time. All right, last up on this list, know you're not alone. The festive season is hard for everyone, even those people that have already started Christmasing for some crazy reason, though I think that's about like a love of nostalgia or feeling comfort in nostalgia. I skimmed an article. I'm not going to talk about it because I'm not going to make things up from a clinical sense or anything like that. We all know I don't have any I'm just autistic. I'm not, I don't have any certifications in any of this. All I've got is my own experiences, and you aren't alone. I'm going to be having a good but overwhelming, stimulated Thanksgiving, and I hope you find what's good for you. And I'll be perfectly honest. The thing that I have found that actually helps me not get too overwhelmed so that I can't eat, and just so overstimulated that I just kind of shut down in public and then look visibly unhappy and then make people go, oh, what's wrong with you? And you're like, I'm fine, happy holidays. I'll be perfectly honest, and I'm sorry if you're my family and you didn't already know this, but I take edibles throughout the day on holidays in a big setting so that I don't get too overwhelmed. I don't take enough to be like loosey-goosey, but I, just enough to maintain even. I only started this 2 years ago. And you know what? The last 2 years were the easiest eating years for me. I ate whole plates of food. I didn't feel sick. I didn't throw food away. And I was able to enjoy the experience and being with people. And that was priceless. So, and I'm lucky to live in a state where that's legal. I'll be perfectly honest. And I know that's not an option for everyone. And I know that that's controversial for some people, but I'm sorry. That's what I have to do. And you know what? Sorry, not sorry. Because again, that's what I need to do to get through the holiday. So I guess my ending thoughts, closing thoughts, other than just it'll get tired, but forgive yourself for being you. You're fine. You're awesome. You got this. The holidays are crazy. And you know what? We're going to talk about the next few because it's the holiday season. It doesn't stop with Thanksgiving. And our Canadian compadres, they have already had Thanksgiving this year and already went through their adventures. And we haven't even talked about if you have political relatives, and if you do, and they do not agree with you, ignore them. Feeding the trolls in person is even worse than feeding them online. It's just going to make everyone upset. My family personally has a general policy. We don't talk politics, religion, or money. It's served us well. And I'm not going to say that that's the best way of going about it, but honestly, we're different people. We just want to spend time together. We don't want consternation. We don't want, I guess I'm not the only person in my family that avoids conflict, because that's definitely all those three things are where conflict brews the most in the world. And I do have strong opinions on all of them, but that's not what this is for. This is about mental health, and that's just going to drag us down, and we don't need that. We've already got a lot going on. It's Thanksgiving, y'all. I hope you all find the things that carry you through the day, and that you spend time with those that you love and bring you joy, because you deserve it. We all deserve it. I just had a sad thought about all the birds, and yes, no, I've got my ethical thing there, but there will be turkey. And this is actually, my grandmother's had a rough year this year, and this could be her last Thanksgiving, and I'm learning to process that too. We'll get there, and it'll be okay, and it'll be Thanksgiving, and and whatever that looks like to you and whatever that means for you, I hope it's the best possible version. So have a great rest of your day. Happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate it. And remember to always tuck and roll.